know you don't believe this yet, but there's nothing wrong with you being a large black gay woman. You deserve to take up space, to be loved, and to be seen.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a wonderful night tonight. A Saturday stream. What is even the stream schedule these last couple of weeks? But that's what happened when it's Christmas/New Year's vacation, or not really vacation, more like a work trip for me personally. You're out and about, your wife's hanging out with your sister, which is so many other things that are going on. And, so we're going to have a chill, laid back, fun stream tonight, hopefully. Hopefully going to have a good time. But before we do that, we have some silly things to talk about. Oh, I should give you a couple updates, or a couple things. Mike from Sons of Liberty Gunworks reached out. Sons of Liberty Gunworks, a little bit of drama, may or may not have been caused by me entirely. But he decided to reach out to me today on Instagram and see if I wanted to have him on the show for you guys to talk to. Now, just a quick little rundown on that. He was on a podcast, obviously owner, co-founder of Sons of Liberty Gunworks, and he said, they've done some on-demand actions, kind of the normal, boomer bottom line, we'll sell guns to anybody, those people that hate us, and we're like, well, you don't have to do that. You don't have to, tactically speaking. But he said he would come on the show and talk to all of you fine, wonderful gentlemen, and I'm sure you will be on your best behavior and most respectful, as you always are. On top of that, Monday, we have a big panel stream. I'm not entirely sure who's going to be there, but it's going to be the best and worst of 2025. We had a best and worst of 2024 in this very room. And this year we're going to have a best and worst of 2025. Hopefully some big fun names on there for you guys to yell and scream at their opinions about what's actually the best and worst. But, all right.
Richard, how's your night going?
Oh, it's going, sir. It's going.
Oh, are you kidding me? Did that actually not work?
No, it worked for a while.
Oh, John, you're gonna have to do the intro again. All right, that's fine. We'll just play the intro again. We'll be back. 2 minutes.
I know you don't believe this yet, but there's nothing wrong with you being a large black gay woman. You deserve to take up space, to be loved, and to be seen.
All right, fine. That's enough. That's enough. Anyway, so the voice changer didn't work again. Just wonderful things on the streaming setup, the portable streaming setup, which is not all that great, apparently speaking. My apologies for that. But so Mike, Sons of Liberty Gunworks, reached out to me on Instagram, said that he would be willing to come on the show for all of you guys to talk to. Right. So there was, a bit of a drama back and forth, maybe started by me mostly over the last week or so. So that should be a really fun conversation. On top of that, Monday, we're having a bunch of fun guys on the panel, as many as I can. It'll be a big panel stream. Not everybody's going to stick around forever, but basically just doing a best and worst of 2025. All right, there's the rundown. I redid the intro, blah, 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 blah. All right, Richard, how's your night going?
Good. Better now, anyway.
Good, good. Amoko's out getting lotto tickets. All right. Well, listen, the reason why your wealth is diminished or having issues is because you're out getting lotto tickets, right? You think you're getting lotto tickets to get out of poverty, but really you're in poverty because you buy lotto tickets. So you're thinking about it the wrong way, for sure. Having worked in a grocery store when I was like 16, 17, 18, well, actually through college as well, for the most part, seeing people buy lotto tickets and the types of people who bought lotto tickets and just daily, weekly, monthly, the amount of money that they would spend to, oh, well, one time I hit a big jackpot of like 2 grand. It's like, yeah, but you spent that over the last 2 months and you do this for years. Maybe you should just stop doing that. It's poor people tax. Emoko, poor people tax. Don't do that. All right. That's right. It's mindset. Mindset. Well, you know, actually funny we should be talking about poor people and mindset, because somebody who does not have a poor person mindset, well, that's the Bundeswehr and their selection of optics and rifles for their military, which I find absolutely hilarious. So here we have, what is this? The Bundeswehr, they've selected the HK 416A4, whichever one model they're currently on right now, but I wasn't aware of this. They had originally intended to get something like 250,000 of the Spectre, the Elcan 1 to 4s with a acro on top. So yes, it is the new Spectres. So they have a welded pick rail on top, and then you have a Picatinny mount to acro footprint riser on top. And this was going to be their optics stack of choice, which is what, 3.5 grand? What's funny is this optic stack might actually be more expensive than the US military's XM 157s, right? The Vortex 1 to 8 or 1 to 6, whatever it is, with the ballistic rangefinder and all the other gizbang Wismos that are in that optic. The Elcan plus Acro combo might actually be more expensive than that, and somehow so much worse. But, they selected these. I think the max requirement that they could have gone with, or the max number for the procurement, were something like 250,000 earlier this year, with a minimum requirement of 50,000. So they have to buy 50K. So it's maximum contract of 250,000, lowest entry of 50,000. And it looks like they're going to be going with the lowest amount because, well, shocker, they are not quite panning out the way you'd think that they would. Now, I mean, they could have just watched my video on the Elcan and figured out that's not a great option. But military procurement be military procurement. Now, I'm actually curious. Does Germany even have 250,000 riflemen? Like, do they even have 250,000 riflemen to issue Elcans to?
I mean, I don't think so. Not standing.
Well, I wouldn't think I wouldn't think they had even 250,000 riflemen in service. They probably have, 500,000 people in service in total, but they're importing them. Well, that's the thing. The foreigners are actually exempt from military service, you see. It would be unfair to draft them. You go die for your homeland so that they can replace you and take your land, family, so on and so forth. Yeah, I mean, listen, Hop has a couple really great videos that I could have shown some procurement officers and we could have saved them a lot of money together for a very small fee. I honestly I'd charge them like 2%. 2% of savings. I think that's totally fair, right? So what is a quarter million ACOGs or sorry, a quarter million Elcans and um acros cost? Like even if we take like a really low ball estimate and let's say they're getting the combo for like 2 grand. So what is that? $50 million? Oh, sorry, $500 million. Yeah, I'll take 2%. 2% of the savings on that contract. Oh. Mm. Yikes. Yikes. Yeah, so I mean, here you can see what's funny is in this picture, the Elcans are not a great option for this type of thing, at least as far as I'm aware. In my time with them, they have a really obnoxious issue with things in front or behind is that the Elcan does not have a diopter. So for some people, like it just doesn't work. Like for some people's eyes, the Elcan just simply does not work, and you have to, especially when you're combining like screens in front or behind. It's not a great option. Not a great option. German tax swap about to go crazy. Yeah. All right. Well, we can at least read the article a little bit, figure out what's going on. Now, this is earlier this year, so this was the 3rd of January, 2025. This is a full-on year ago in about a week. They're talking about actually getting all of them. So, can you translate this for me, please? English. English, please. Do you speak it? So it sounded like
English,
a local
please.
supermarket. English. English, do you speak it? So the blah 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 blah. And the main combat optics of the Elcan Spectre DR 1 to 4 is progressing the cold test, which is scheduled for the first quarter of 2025. Again, keep in mind this original article is written in January, and then we have a new article that came out like 2 days ago. Is reportedly missing for the completion, nevertheless, a final design status, K stand, of the Bundeswehr assault rifle system is already emerging. The K stand represents, so to speak, the final design of a product that is to be manufactured and delivered as part of series production. So let's see where they get to the total number of them. Yep. They want all this stuff in there with them. So if the Elcan optics, this is called foreshadowing. If the well, actually, I need to back up a little bit. So, as Circle's familiar with the situation report, Heartpunk, the Elcan Spectre DR1 to 4 does not appear to meet Bundeswehr's requirements regarding night combat capability because, again, there is no diopter on it. So, getting it to work passively through night vision, good luck. Good luck. According to reports, there are design-related incompatibility issues with the Lucy 2 night vision goggles. I'm not familiar with those. You night vision nerds can tell me about that. Introduced to the troops. Nevertheless, verification of the optics is still ongoing. But whether and how the defect can be remedied remains unclear. It cannot be remedied unless you completely redesign the Elcan, which they will not. They've had 2 decades to do it, but they won't. But whether or not and how the defect can be remedied remains unclear. If the Elcan optics did not meet the required capability, even after verification has been completed, the troops led by the army could refuse to accept them, so that the Bundeswehr will not procure the optics or will procure them in significantly smaller number than originally planned, around 120K. As well-informed circles have confirmed, the Hartpunk Bundeswehr procurement office, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, HK 416 is their current one. They want about, 120K. So actually, I was basically right on the money. So they are charging you roughly $2,000, $2,500 per combo. So per Elcan and Acro. Because for 120K, it is a €250,000, which is a lot of money. What's that, about 350 mil in US dollars? So that's a big chunk of change there. Now, I want to say proof samples, blah, blah, blah. Right. So I think the total is a 250,000, but I could be wrong about that. Anyways, And then this article came out December 18th, which is going to be, them having a little bit of problems with them and going with the lowest possible amount to procure. The Bundeswehr may only procure a minimum quantity and must examine alternatives. So the one thing that I will say about the Bundeswehr, right? So they wrote a check for $350 million for this contract, essentially. And within a year, they were like, all right, we're stuck with some of them. So we have to procure the minimum according to the contract, but we're going to be looking for alternatives immediately. So they do move a lot faster. They still made the wrong decision, just like, US procurement does, but at least they can move a lot faster. When do you think we're going to be getting rid of the XM7, or at least pretending that it's not the main fighting rifle? Couple years, at least. At its meeting yesterday, the budget committee of the German Bundestag approved the so-called 25 million proposal for an amendment to the frameworks agreement under the procurement of main battle sites for the Bundeswehr's new assault rifle, only under strict condition. As well-informed circles confirm, Hartpunkt, the maximum volume of the framework agreement concluded in 2021 between these guys and Germany was increased from 128 million euros to around 720 million euros. Only budget funds around 144 million were released for the procurement of the estimated minimum quantity, 50,000 main battle sites, which again is this hideous combo. This is what they spent a minimum 144 million euros on 50,000 of these. So they're stuck with 50,000 of these. Yeah, I mean, as far as like combat sighting systems go, like it's fine for your average soldier. All right. Hopefully it fits the rails, no diopter, which kind of sucks. Acro, hopefully they don't get wet. I mean, they fixed some of the issues with that sort of thing, but it's very expensive. It's very, very, very expensive. It's like double a Triticon option or anything else that they could have gone with. I mean, what's funny is they could have all outfitted every single one of their soldiers with Razor HDs, like the Gen 2s, or honestly, even the Gen 3s. They could have done every single guy with a Gen 2 or a Gen 3 Razor HD and saved 50% costs. Save 50% costs. 50,000 main. So even though the amended framework agreement now provides for the delivery of up to 250,000, yeah. So the total possible was 250,000, which is like $700 million, 700 million euros. So close to $1 billion, for their optics. How heavy is that? I don't remember how heavy the Elcan is, but I think it's lighter than an LPVO with mount. So I think it's like 16, 17 ounces. And then you add an acro and a pick mount. It's like maybe touching 20 ounces. Maybe touching 20 ounces in total, which I mean, yeah, a Razor HT Gen 2 is like 3 ounces heavier than that. But if you want something that has a 1X and has this, a magnified capability, you might as well go something like a Razor HD, and you could have just abused Vortex's warranty on the Razor HDs. Yeah. Well, so if we're going with Strike Eagles, we could actually get 9 per soldier, 9 per Elcan, right? So the soldier has 1 on his rifle and 8 in his backpack. And even if we go with something nicer again, like the Razor HD Gen 2s, you can still have 2 of them. So you can have 1 on your rifle, 1 in a backpack, and still come out ahead in terms of money. I would honestly prefer it. According to Parliament's so-called injunction, a structured market review must, among other things, be carried out before any further call is made. Alternative operational optics that have already been introduced are short-term and meet minimum military requirements must be considered. So essentially, they are going to do the 50K optics, which it's a lot of Elcans. A lot of Elcans and acros, not 2 things that I would put together personally, but, I've actually put an O sight on an Elcan before. That was funny. National and European provider options will also be shown. Apparently, the parliamentarians want to keep open the option of using other providers' visors. I think they mean optics, because again, this is machine translated. So they are attempting to drop these as fast as possible, fill out the minimum order requirements, which is again 122 million euros. 122 million euros for 50K of these, which honestly, like 50K of them, I don't know how many riflemen Germany even has, but I feel like that's enough. Like you don't need any more than that. 50K that's a lot. It's a lot.
You know, it's just a small number.
Yeah. Yeah, not wouldn't be my first choice. I mean, yeah, like people are mentioning it in chat, but what else could you put on there? You could do a Trigicon, like any one of the ACOGs. Pick your favorite ACOG and a top dot. Doesn't have to be an acro, could be an RCR, basically the same cost. You're still looking at a massive weight reduction, massive cost reduction. Still no diopter, so it's still not going to work for all the things that you want it to work with. LPVOs, I know LPVOs are going to rage bait the chat, but you could put an ATACer on every one of them for the same cost. Richard might be dying. Richard, you doing all right, bro?
Yeah, I drank hot coffee.
No, it sounds like you're about to explode.
Yeah, I was.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, or I mean, any red dot magnifier combo. I mean, I get it. People like magnified optics, but a magnifier does that. I don't love using magnifiers. An EOTech magnifier combo would be half the cost and half the weight. So, yeah. Yeah, ACOGs with a T2. I've seen that as well. For sure. Does Germany have access to expert voice for discount? No, but perhaps your local Native American gun store worker does. You know, maybe he does. Maybe you ought to ask him, Josh. Good for them. Good for them. All right, Germany. Best of luck with that, sirs. I hope it goes well for you, whatever you're doing. Actually, I am going to look that up real fast. How many soldiers in Germany's army?
That's funny.
I'm sure it needs a welfare check. You're like, that's funny. That's so funny. So the German army, it only have in 2024, it had 63,000 soldiers, which that sounds low. How many members? Okay, so I see. So I think that's their active duty. They have up to 860,000 reserve personnel, though. 860,000 reserve personnel. So like a 250,000, right? They would have a 250,000 like active duty or not active duty, but like frontline type, right? Combat troops, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, they'd have about a 250,000. 180K active, 860 reserve personnel. That's what Wikipedia is giving me. That could be a wrong number. But yeah, I mean, if they're willing to spend $1 billion on their on their optics package alone, right? Although I wonder what we spent on ours, or what we're planning on spending on ours, because I think we want 100. We only want 150K of the XM 157s, right? The new optic that goes on top of the XM7 or the M7. We only want 115K, 120K, something like that. 271K at most. True. Good point, actually. Good point, 45 gunner. Appreciate it. All Turkish reserves. Oh dear. Well, hey, do you want to take a quick detour from German procurement? Do you want to do something funny, like female cops, and then we'll talk about cloud defensive underperforming once again? We should do something funny first.
Yeah, funny.
Okay. Well, this isn't necessarily super funny, but this is just it's going to be on brand. Okay, you guys will get it in a second. You guys will understand in a second. Let me see if Instagram's actually going to run this time.
It's actually hard for me morally to justify being in a film.
Uh-oh, did it stop for you? Instagram, please. I might have to download the video and then play it because of how stupid Instagram is being. Say, Lovey. All right, Richard. entertain the audience for a moment. Use all of your wild.
Oh, I will do my best to entertain them. Last time I just read chat.
Your entire intellect to bear right now.
I will use the force.
For 2 says, is John wearing lipstick? No. But for you? Maybe.
Not good enough because I'm still here.
Wait, what? The aliens lady. Yeah. I found that really funny. She's like, I found it really hard to ethically justify the fact that we were running around with guns in a movie, and it really bothered me. And I had to talk to James and be like, this is not what I signed up for with all these guns. This is very like militaristic, and I'm kind of scared.
It's actually hard for me morally to justify being in a film with so many guns. I just find it very upsetting, and that's the biggest problem for me, is that reading the script, I had no idea how martial the atmosphere would be and how much emphasis that would have. I give money to anti-gun legislation, and I mean, I never even go to see movies about guns.
I love shooting with guns. That's like the best part of my job. Oh, I've shot a few weapons in a couple of different situations, and I grew up in Texas. I shot a lot of shotguns and stuff like that.
The dichotomy of man. All right. The dichotomy of man right there. Yeah. Rest in peace, Bill. Yeah. Somebody said, who has a kid and names their baby Sigourney? It's a weird name. It's a weird. Don't ask me to spell it. I can't do it. But, I mean, I find that comical, right? Like, it's just there's so many guns and it's so martial. Like, who is this even for? It's for the male audience, ma'am. You wouldn't get it. You wouldn't understand, all right? This speaks to me on an emotional level, okay? All right? But in that theme, all right. In that theme, we have a couple more excellent woman moments, certified woman moments. That was just the first of many, okay? Give me one second here as I navigate Instagram's delusionally bad UI that for some reason will not play at all. Only on a live stream. It's like, actually, I want to die now. Okay, I have that one. Here's a funny one. Now, this was actually in my neck of the woods. This was just north of me. We have a female. You can't, Vandala, you can't ask me to spell words on stream. Just don't do it. But no, this is just north of me. A interaction with a female police lieutenant, trying her best to, I don't even know necessarily. I'm just gonna let you guys kind of figure this out because I don't know what her plan was. I don't know what she was trying to accomplish, but it happened. Do we not have audio? No audio, but you'll be able to figure it out. All right, so you got this guy just walking across the highway. I think this is in Everett, which is about an hour and a half north of me right now, right? Just doing Washington things. He starts waving at this cop who has her lights on. This is a police lieutenant, I believe. The man just kind of waltzing through the freeway right on I-5, as you do. All right. Female police officer is going to attempt to detain him or interact with him or get him off the road or something. I think that's her plan right now. She's probably calling for backup. And, the man is just going to waltz up to her car. So I think she has the windows down right now. She raises the windows up because she's afraid of the guy reaching in and getting her or something, of course, right? But she doesn't lock the door. So he opens the door and pulls her out of the way, closes the door, and it's over. Yep. She is, he gets in, obviously locks the door because that's what you do. And look at that, a free police cruiser. tax-free. The government doesn't want you to know this, but police cruisers are free. This is like horses, okay? Back in the old days, all you have to do is defeat their owner, defeat their rider, and it's yours. It's yours. It's actually, what is it? Possession is 9/10 of the law, or something like that. And he just casually opens the door, like really calmly. Just casually is like, okay, door, no, my door now. And you sit here for a second, and I have your car now. He gets in, obviously locks the door. Like, duh. Of course, you don't want somebody coming into your car. All right, it just drives right off. Why not? Now that was your tax dollars fighting your tax dollars, stealing your tax dollars. So at least we get the entertainment out of it. So I mean, are we winning in that? Well, yeah, she wasn't wearing her seatbelt. True, no seatbelt. Tragic. Well, so I don't like if she had just had her door locked, right? Am I crazy? Like if you just have your door locked, this sort of thing doesn't happen, right? Am I crazy? Cringe? Just she's trying her best. She's doing her best. Let me see if I can have the actual description here. So the Real State of America says breaking new video has emerged of the Christmas Day carjacking of a female Washington State Patrol lieutenant in Seattle. Okay, so Seattle. The footage shows the suspect casually walking up to her vehicle, opening the door, and yanking her out with little to no resistance. DEI hire. Well, what a lieutenant's like higher up, right? Or like you got to be in there for a few years, okay? This is a cop. Yeah. You cannot expect the police to protect you. They can barely protect themselves. That's true. Anytime you hear somebody use like the anti-gun argument where they're like, "Oh, the police will protect you." These ones, this one right here. I don't think this one's going to be protecting anybody. Or at least she's not doing a good job. Why was the car door not locked? Of course. We need more strong, independent women like her in Seattle. Of course. Does she not have a gun? Well, okay. I'm actually going to give her a little bit of credit for the self-control to not shoot her own police vehicle like 19 times with people driving by. A little bit of a win there. Okay, she didn't draw her gun and shoot at passengers like driving by. All right, so it wasn't all bad. It could have been worse. All right. Well, one more with that in context there, gentlemen. All right, this is one of the best clips like ever. Now this female, I think, is going to try her best. This female, I think, is going to attempt to explain why women are superior at policing. Really, guys? Really, guys? Might? Nope. Would. Unbelievable. Logan Sucks at Shooting says, what donation goal do we have to reach to get you play Uma Musumi on stream? Who the heck is Ume Musumi? Also, great profile pic. But yeah, so this woman is going to explain why women are superior at some aspects of police work than men, and how they just do really good work. So you should hire more of them. And in fact, is that a spoof account? No way Logan would act. No, it's got the mod. It's a horse game. Logan wants me to play a horse anime game on stream. $200. I don't know. It is. Wow, this is not a request I thought you would have asked for, Logan. All right, I didn't know what you were into. My bad. I was not familiar with your game. All right, it's peak. It's peak. He's literally in the VC playing it right now. Well, maybe we should just stream the VC. And you need a VTuber model. Oh, that's easy. That's easy. All right. I don't know. That is quite funny. But anyways, let's get back to women, okay? Get away from your degenerate horse anime stuff. Back to women. All right? Back to women.
Women have an ability to de-escalate a situation.
Fucking clutch going to fucking jail. What? I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. You hear me?
Now, in case you're not aware, that was to the right. This is a great screenshot. Actually, this is the unbothered Chad, arm up on the back of his obviously lifted truck. Woman just screaming her mind out at him, saying that she's gonna kill him. She's gonna beat him up. Put you in. She's about to pull her gun in a second as well. Okay, spoiler alert: a gun is about to be pulled against this chill man. All right, so just let's back it up a little bit. You guys get the full context here.
Women have an ability to de-escalate a situation.
Fucking clutch going to fucking jail.
What?
I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. You hear me?
Oh my
I'm
God!
gonna fucking beat the fuck out of you.
No,
She
no,
fucking
calm.
put your fucking name on the mother.
So I talk with my hands sometimes, right? However, if I grab one of those guns behind me and just start waving it at people who are driving by or whatnot, people don't like that. People don't like that, right? It's not nice. It's not nice. Ah.
You hear me?
Oh my
I'm
God!
gonna fucking beat the fuck out of you.
No,
She
no,
fucking
calm.
put your fucking name on the motherfucking radio. I'm gonna kill
Oh,
you.
Shirley!
I'm
Shirley!
gonna fucking kill her.
Shirley!
Fucking wife of Ricky.
Shirley.
I'm gonna fucking kill him. You hear me?
And had just a
So, what is pulling a gun on an unarmed man? Would that be assault, Richard? We had this conversation like 2 weeks ago, but pulling a gun on somebody threateningly while threatening to kill them, that's assault, technically, right? It's not battery, but that's assault.
I believe that is just assault.
So, yeah. So, listen, I'm not a lawyer, of course, but just if we take away the police officer element of it, if somebody drew a gun at me, like even if she didn't point it at me, but she's obviously directing all of her attention at me, threatening to kill me with a gun in his or her hand, like if it were me in this situation and I didn't know the person or without context, I would kill them, right? Because that I mean they're threatening my life and they have a gun in their hand that they are waving about. Now obviously in this situation, there's probably a little bit more tact that you should have, and the man took the absolutely correct opinion of just letting women scream it out. Like women are like kids a little bit. Okay, this is gonna be really rude. Okay, but I've been dealing with kids all day, and women like to scream. Kids like to scream. Sometimes they get a little upset. You kind of ignore them. They simmer down. They calm down, and then you can go back to having a regular conversation with them. Right. So the girl just needs a timeout. She needs to go sit down. She needs some chocolate. She needs something. Right. Get her out of there. Unqualified immunity. Yeah, I would say at least brandishing though. But the threats to kill as well. It's the brandishing plus saying that I'm going to beat you up, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill somebody else, whatever they were arguing about, right? She's going to kill him, she's going to kill somebody else, she's going to kill all of them, whatever it might be. It's there's something there, right? There's something there. A lawsuit at minimum.
an ability
Oh, I do want to back up though to get her full.
an ability to connect with others.
The department confirms it just fired 2 officers after the 11 Alive investigators uncovered they flipped a coin to decide whether to arrest a driver for speeding.
A head, our tail.
Okay.
I mean, in some way that is funny though, right? Like a coin flip. Does that like you're freaking what's that movie? No Country for Old Men. Like on a much lower level, of course, not live or die. But we arrest you for speeding. I don't know. What do you think we should do? I don't know either. We're so bad at making decisions. I don't want to make a decision. What if we flipped a coin? We flip a coin. Heads, we like throw them in jail, and tails, we don't. Okay. That's a great idea. Yes, let's do it. That was the conversation leading up to it, I'm sure. I'm sure that was.
Officers, after the 11 Alive investigators uncovered they flipped a coin to decide whether to arrest a driver for speeding.
A head or tail. Okay. This is tail, right? Yeah. So really, 23. Michael.
This is Tails, right? This is Tails, right? Wait, so did they say release and then she called for the arrest? Is she that stupid?
To arrest a driver for speeding.
A head or tail. Okay. This is tail, right? Yeah. So really, 23. Michael Jordan. Hi. So I got too fast for. Let me write this down. Too fast for conditions. Is it reckless? Yeah, you can do reckless.
What you just
With my tax dollars at work. Like, I'm sure these women would be lovely women in another situation, but the fact that they get to dictate like life and death decisions to everyday people for something like speeding, and it has nothing to do with context or justice. But I don't know, sister, what feels right to you? Like, I don't even know. Do you have like a coin on you or something? Maybe we should like let fate decide. So romantic of you. Wow, that's so funny. Isn't that just like crazy? Guys. I'm sure they'd be wonderful people, right? It's that sort of thing, right? You'd be a really great person if you didn't have a gun pointed at me right now, or if your whimsy didn't dictate whether or not I spend the night in jail and get separated from my wife and family and maybe lose my job, right? Like that would be great, right? I'm sure you'd be great, and somewhere else, just not here. Just not here. Please. I mean, even the way that they talk to each other is like girls on like a girls' date or something, right? It's not even that your police officers in charge of protecting and serving people. It's like, this is so funny. What do we do? I mean, what are we doing right now? What are we doing later? Did we arrest this guy? Like, I don't even know.
watched includes former officers Courtney Brown and Christy Wilson discussing whether or not
I go up to the guy and say, "Are you a Sagittarius? A Sagittarius would totally be speeding in a school zone. You're such a Sagittarius. Crazy. I knew you would say that. I knew it. I knew it from the type of car you drive. You're a Sagittarius."
to write the driver a ticket or place her into custody. Ultimately, they used that coin flipping app to help make that decision after the 11 Alive investigation.
Wait, sorry, what?
Place her into custody. Ultimately, they used that coin flipping app to help make that decision after the 11 Alive investigators obtained the video. The driver's case was dismissed and the officers removed from the streets. Now,
That trust that we work to build with our communities, we work on that every single day.
Put your hands on top of the vehicle for me.
Oh no. I don't know if I can throw this one on YouTube. I'll make it smaller. YouTube, don't kill me. I'm sure there's nothing bad's going to happen here. YouTube censor, it's fine. Don't worry. Well, of course they didn't have a actual coin. I mean, come on. Forget their wallets half their time.
I appreciate that, me and Murray. Oh, you're all right. Oh, shit. You okay?
I forgot which one this was. Okay, so the man has a concealed carry. Totally fine, right? You can have a gun on you. I've had a gun on me in dozens of police interactions. Okay, it's not a problem. All right, but if you are attempting to disarm me and then you shoot me with my gun, we have a big problem. Big problem. All right, because I get it, dude. It's really obnoxious, guys. Right, when it's like, okay, well, they have to disarm you because they're doing a search or for whatever else it might be. Blah 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 blah. We get it. All that's gross and gay and whatnot, especially if there's no reason to actually pull somebody over. But okay, so you disarm the guy, you make everybody safe, blah 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 blah, whatever it might be, but then you accidentally shoot the guy. It's like, I used to be a speeder, dude. Before I was married, I think I got pulled over like 31 times in 6 years. Yeah, I think 31 times in 6 years. So yeah, I've had a lot of and like in South Dakota, I've been pulled over like 3 times, like with a car loaded full of guns for like really silly things. Like, did you know your rear license plate light is out? And I'm like, no, and I don't care, basically. Oh well. Oh well. Yeah, how many tickets are on my record? How many tickets are on my record? 0. 0 tickets are on my record. Because the government doesn't want you to know this, but it's actually cheaper to hire a lawyer to fight your case than it is to pay a speeding ticket. So yeah, I think I only ended up having to like fight like 3 speeding tickets with a lawyer, and you hand them like $250, and then they deal with it for you. It's fine. It's fine. It's better than getting a ticket on your record.
I appreciate it, man. Being very honest. Oh, shit. You okay?
Being a mother and seeing these families in need just gives you a different level of compassion for what other people are going through.
Don't get cracked last night. So everybody getting. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me reread this. I misspelled. My apologies for this clearly middle-aged woman who's appealing to Zoomer speak. Didn't get cracked last night, so everybody getting a ticket or going to jail. This was posted by Shelby Sideways to all of 9 likes on what is this, TikTok, Instagram, wherever she sent this to. Your career or 9 likes on Instagram? 6, 7, right? Your career or 2 shares on Instagram. It's a tough choice. It's a tough choice. Now, didn't get cracked last night. I am sure that most people in the chat would have helped you with that. All right. They would have helped you in that regard. Okay. They definitely would. Cracked means intercourse, right? As the kids would say. As a kid, right? Smash, then pass. Yeah. Cracked means intercourse. So she's upset because she did not get laid the night before. Which, listen, honestly, she's identifying with a lot of the guys in the chat right now. Didn't get laid last night. A little bit upset about it. Taking it out on everybody else. I'm just saying, would not. Well, you better not. You have a new kid. You better not. Don't even think about that. How dare you? Besides, I'm pretty sure Shelby Sideways is already the department. What's a good word for it? Slam piece, slam pig. Actually, slam pig makes a lot of sense in this context because it's cop, of course. I'm sure there's other terms for it.
Wonder what this feels like. Ow! That hurts. My God, is that what I've been doing to people?
Okay, well, that's just funny. There's nothing wrong with that one. Being like, oh, I didn't know what it feel like to be cuffed. Like, why would you? Hopefully you haven't been arrested before, or at least, not many times before. So it's just kind of funny. Like, there's no problem with this one because you're not threatening people. You're just saying, oh, is that what it feels like to get handcuffs? Because I'm usually the person giving the handcuffs, not, getting handcuffed. That's funny.
Ow! That hurts. My God, is that what I've been doing to people?
Okay, and then we have what looks to be a British lesbian. I don't know why all female police officers in Britain look like this old lady, but they all do. They all do. It's like, it also seems like no matter how many women you get to detain a perp, it just doesn't work. Like, you'll see like one athletic black dude and have like 6 female police officers around him, and the guy just walks away. Like, he's like, all right, nope, get away from me, nope, I'm gonna go, keep going, nope, I'm gonna keep going, and then he runs away, right? And it's like, it's the same thing. It's like they're trying to detain one female, and there's 2 female cops, and they just failed to do it. Grandma? Listen, Grandma didn't have retirement, all right? She's still working the streets as a beat cop in her late 60s, okay? Also, am I crazy? But she hit the ground at like 1 mile an hour.
People?
She can't. No, she's so fat. No, no, she can't keep up. No, that whole thing. That seems like a comedy sketch, doesn't it? Doesn't it? One cop falls over like 2 feet, rolls her ankle or something, screams, and then the not none of these people are in shape, right? But the black woman seems to be more in shape than everybody else in this picture. So the other girl who's a little bit rotund was like waddling after, hopefully taser extended. I am hoping that was a taser and not the firearm. Okay, please. Round is a shape. That is true, Art Vandalay. But I am hoping that was the taser and not the gun. Please be the taser you are running with your arm outstretched with and not the gun. Okay? Please. Look how slow, dude. It's so slow. She like sets herself down. Do we play? Does that not play? Come on. She's like, maybe she rolled her ankle. Maybe that's what she's upset about. But I think that's the taser. But just look. She's not even running. Not even running after this lady.
Playback speed.
I probably can. Oh,
I wonder if her head bounced.
Cracked lady. Yeah. I'm gonna make it even slower. Quarter.
People.
Oh yeah, this is like some 80s synthwave music. No, I think it was her leg. I think her leg got trapped under her. And then, okay, so it was the taser. We clearly see the taser. Kind of goes hard. But she's just running. This other lady's just grabbing the cart nonchalant. Look at it. This kind of goes hard. I like this. It feels like a spaceship taking off noise, but in Dune. That's actually good. Uh, 83% of LE is overweight. Depending on where you are. Yeah. Glimmerman says old lady landing on hips, no go, boomer cops. Yeah, she looks old. Like old grandma. Somebody. But if I had to guess, I think it's her other leg. Yeah, I think her other leg gets like twisted up under her. Yeah, it feels like so much more epic and emotional and slow motion. It's quite funny. Actual stat average age for cardiac event is 45. Bro, don't say that. Don't do that. Don't say that. Not that far off, bro. Lesbian mating. Mini Racer says her right foot rolled hard. Yeah, I think as she tried to twist, like her ankle, knee gave out under her, and then it like got captured under her heavy frame as she fell to the ground. I mean, says I scream like that when I coom. Good to know. Good to know. I'm sure that's very nice for everybody else in your house or apartment complex. It's like, oh, that time of the day again, huh? Yeah, happened again. All right. Oh, dude. Well, okay, so that was our funny comedic relief. Now we can talk about Cloud Defensive and the EPL. You guys know about the EPL, right? So it's shoot, I can't go away, dude. Yes, I'm over 21. Get out of here. Anyway, so you guys know the EPL, right? So it's been under pre-order for a long time, like years, actually. It's had a couple of revisions and changes, and they've made some updates. And, tried to do some cool things with it. Then at the time when it originally was like teased or slated to be launched, it was going to be the highest performance pistol light, the best ever, the greatest of all time. It's unbeatable in terms of what it can do, and the Candela. But since that point in time, when it was originally supposed to launch, like 6 other high performance pistol lights have come out. And so now at I think $300, $270, something or else like that. It's bit of an ask. Now, what's really the only important part of this to me, because I'm sure there are nice things about the EPL, it is I believe they have the All American Made certificate. So if you're somebody that can only buy made in America, well, it does that, and it's on par with things like Surefire turbos or other lights right in that price and performance bracket that are also made in America. Their specs, however, are a little bit off. A little bit off. So, output and specs, rifle light performance for pistol based applications or pistol cringe applications. 52,000 Candela, which is good. 52,000 Candela is the same as like Streamlight HLX Pro, one of those, right? It's good. It's good. It's good for rifle light performance, great for pistol performance. It's good. 50,000 Candela is all some people are like, well, I actually need 175,000 or I need, 75,000 or 90,000. 52K is fine. 52K is fine. Now 1200 lumens, plenty of light, 40-minute runtime, and yeah, the Buy American Act BAA certified, right? So that's good. Good on them for doing this. Bad on them for holding people's money for years and years. And well, fortunately, we have a really good video done by Works Holsters. Now, Works Holsters, they make holsters, not like the highest end, most expensive holsters out there, but like good holsters for a good price, right? But their test on these are like professional reviews, which I really like. The gun industry doesn't have a lot of people like Gamers Nexus or Digital Foundry or some of these other guys that can do really in-depth, relatively objective testing on products, especially like lights. So like if I review a light, I'm like, oh yeah, it's bright. Like it's bright enough, and the switches work, and this is its size and weight, and I think that's cool. And here's its switch compatibility, and here's how I mounted it. That's what I do. Whereas these guys can go like, all right, so here's the runtime, here's the lumens throughout the runtime, here's the max candela at 0 seconds, at 60 seconds, at max time, burn in, all this other fun stuff that they can actually do with a little bit more high-end testing equipment, right? Whereas me, I'm just like, oh yeah, light turn on. I really like it. So let's do the manufacturer's claims first, because I think that, again, you guys should absolutely go check out this video. Let me go drop it in the YouTube chat for you guys so that you guys can go check it out, because it is a very good video. So you should all go watch it. We're only going to watch about 2 minutes of it, because I think that's the relative part, or the relevant part about not Works' claims, but Cloud's claims and what people paid for it on their pre-orders versus what they actually get.
Streamlight TLR 1 HP. Surefire X 300 Ultra.
Those are expensive.
Modlight PL3 50PL HV2.
So we bought 3 of these lights and ran them through our extensive lab testing to determine if Cloud Defensive has kept their promises.
Well, that's another really good thing that they did, is they have 3 different models to choose from. Because another problem with, regular reviews is that they're all sample size of 1, but they can actually tell you the objective variance between a light to light. Some of the lights were closer to manufacturer's claims, and some of them were not. None of them met, but some of them were closer than others. So, I mean, something to keep in mind as well, that, your light might actually not be as bright as another one out there. Oh, sorry. I was just waiting for it to load, because apparently that's a big ask in this day and age. Let me go ahead and drop the link in chat for you guys for the Discord server. Saw Tulip asking for it. And put that there. Perfect.
Now, first up is lumen testing. So when you first turn on the light, one of them measured over 1,300 lumens, one of them measured over 1,200, and one of them measured closer to 1,100. At 30 seconds in, one of them was measuring over 1,200 lumens, and the average of the three at 30 seconds is 1,127 lumens. That's 90.
Yeah. That's a pretty substantial change. So if I could just see those numbers again. So again, 3 different models. One of them was over 200 lumens brighter than the others, like 18%, 17% brighter for the same cost. Now, I don't know if that sort of variation is standard across the industry. Like maybe there is up to a 20% delta, or let's say 10% delta from the advertised. So 1,200 is advertised, but it could be plus or minus 10% in the real world. Possible, right? But that is a large delta, 200 lumens, 20% roughly, almost 20% for the same price, right? So, I mean, if you had a way to test it and you had a bunch of these in store, if you're like, hey, can I test these to see which one I actually want to buy? Thank you. Well, so that's the thing is these are American, right? Because these have the Buy American Act seal of approval. So allegedly these are, I don't know if it's 100% made in America, but it's a large percentage made in America.
At 30 seconds in, one of them was measuring over 1,200 lumens, and the average of the three at 30 seconds is 1,127 lumens. That's 94% of the claim, and we're going to say that that's a promise kept. Cloud Defensive claims 40 minutes of runtime. Our lights measured between 32 and 35 and a half minutes.
Now, batteries, I kind of wish they would have listed what batteries, because they just use standard CR123s, right? We're not using something crazy. So there's a huge variance in terms of battery selection, in terms of temperature, how old are the batteries, so on and so forth. There's a lot of other variables when it comes to runtime. So if it's not in the ideal temperatures with the perfect battery, depending on which light that you're using, time frame does change. Now, something other very important that a lot of people don't get is, just because they don't necessarily know how it works, but lights build up a lot of heat really fast. And so when you don't want to burn them out, there's usually a stepping mode where it will drop the lumens to manage the heat a little bit, manage the power output so you don't actually either burn up the body, burn out the light itself, melt your gun, whatever it might be. So when they say, oh, well, it only has max output for like 30 seconds, it's like, well, yeah, because that's a lot of heat. So usually for like a pistol light or a rifle light, if you're using it continuously, you definitely want a few minutes of like, at least 75, 80% of max. But usually lights are not just constantly on like big searchlights would be. It's a little bit different of a use case. A weapon light is not quite the same as a searchlight.
That's close, and that's not the runtime you're going to get out of a light that has 2 CR123A batteries. Those tend to run much, much longer. I'm going to let you decide if that's a promise kept. Practically, it's...
So, I mean, it's, again, 80% on the low end, 90% on the high end. So it's kind of close within tolerance. Okay, so no, this is using a 18350 battery, 18350C. So again, another advantage of using CR123As is that CR123As is that your body is usually a little bit wider, but you just have a lot more power at your disposal in terms of like output. So you can get, what does the Surefire run at? Like an hour and 20 minutes is what they rate theirs for. And I'm sure the TLR1 is like an hour or so as well. So 40 minutes is a little on the low end. A little on the low end.
Pretty uncommon to be using your weapon-mounted light over 10 minutes, let alone 35 minutes. However, that output curve drops off pretty quickly, and you're not going to be getting all those lumens as you get towards the end.
So I kind of want to back up and see that graph again. So yeah, so you have max, roughly max, for about 1 minute. And then after that, it drops to about 850 ish pretty solidly for 6 to 7 minutes. So you're still running about 70% of max for about 6 to 8 minutes. Now, obviously, if it's colder outside, you're going to go for longer, depending on your battery condition, depending on, little tolerances between your specific light. It can make a little bit of difference one way or the other in that.
quickly, and you're not going to be getting all those lumens as you get towards the end of that runtime.
Jameson says OEM batteries that came from cloud with each light brand new. Well, I mean, that's another thing too, that like as a company, if you know that your lights perform best with a certain type of light, like that's the ones that you should use. Oh, so Jameson, I'm not sure if you're with Works. You look like somebody who would be with Works, but it says we use the batteries that came with each light. So yeah, so if you are sending out lights for this, it probably makes the best sense to ship them with the best lights. So we would hope, or the best batteries, sorry. So we would hope that Cloud was shipping them with batteries that they tested and knew worked the best, right? Although I'm sure battery nerds can tell me which ones are best or which ones they prefer.
Candela measures the ability of a light to focus in a particular spot. Cloud Defensive claims 52,000 candela, and we were not able to get anywhere near that number. The best of our samples at 0 seconds measured under 45,000.
Okay. So 0 seconds, instantaneous. That's the brightest it's going to be. Usually there's some, if you just turn on your light and stare at the wall for like a minute, you're going to notice it dip just a little bit, like with almost all of the lights that are out there. And cheaper ones will do it a lot faster. Like stream lights, you might notice it in like 5 or 10 seconds at sometimes, just depending on what it is. Yeah, dude, it's like, in the tiers of nerds, all right, you have like your AR nerds, who's like kind of what I am. It's like you're normal, right? Normal. I'm normal. You have AK nerds, and you're like, please get away from me. And then it's like bullpup nerds, and it's like the stench. Okay, night vision nerds, and it's like Reddit tier most of the time. And then there's battery nerds and 40K nerds above those guys, and it's like, ugh. We should go back to a caste system, and battery nerds and 40K nerds are at the lowest end of that.
Candela, and at 30 seconds, the average of the lights was about 37,000.
So one of them's really low, 34K, 33.9. So that's, again, if we pull up this little handy dandy screenshot, their claims were 52,000. 52,000. At 30 seconds, you're looking at 34 on the low end to almost 40, right? So it's almost touching 80%. And going back to the instant for just a second. When my computer loads.
0 seconds measured under 45,000 candela.
Okay, so it's 0 seconds, instantaneous. One of them is still under 40K, 40K mentioned. Again, with a rated or a promised 52K. So that's 25% lower than promised, than advertised. Which again, I kind of want to see all of the other manufacturers' claims tested as well, because I don't know, maybe plus or minus 20% is usual. Maybe most of the manufacturers can't actually hit their promised numbers. So maybe this is just an industry-wide thing and everybody lies about their numbers, which honestly, I would believe that. Everybody lies about their numbers. It's probably true. But still, you're paying roughly $300 for a light, which is, a chunk of change. It's not the most expensive light out there, but it's a chunk of change out there for a pistol light. And it's, not hitting the numbers you were promised. And it took 2 years to deliver in some cases. It's little things like that. Of course, Emoko is also an anime nerd. We genocide those folks. Says John, I regret to inform you I was autistically hyperfixated on batteries for a bit, still standardizing on 18650s and 18350s. Well, 18650s are based. 18350s are cringe, and you should switch to CR123As on everything. Yeah, I mean, ammo makers absolutely lie about velocity. I think that's true, but some of them don't. Like even Winchester White Box 5.56 is like it's 3250 out of a 20-inch barrel. Some of them are there. Some of them don't lie. So, but I want to see like, okay, Surefire and Streamlight in the same test, do they come closer to their advertised numbers, or are they all a little low? Right.
And at 30 seconds, the average of the lights was about 37,000 candela, which is nowhere near their claim. And that not only doesn't meet Cloud Defensive's claim, but it is not competitive with some of the powerful lights that we have available today.
Yeah, so I'd have to compare that to some of the other numbers, but I mean, yeah, there's other lights that can provide roughly 50K candela if that's like a magic number that you're looking for. Now, the graphics are actually really good. I like it's like a retro high quality video with like good numbers. I like it. I think that you guys should go check it out. Let me go ahead and drop the link in the chat again for the video as well. Now, well, it's easy to dislike Cloud Defensive for a bunch of the things that they've done, and deservedly so. One could argue, which I probably would. But it's like, is the difference between 52 and 44,000 candela really that big of a difference deal from a user perspective? Probably not. The biggest deal is going to be ergonomics and durability, and does the light actually do the thing that you want it to do? Holster compatibility is another huge one, which of course is why we have a video from Works Holsters. But like, maybe I'm the odd one here, but I don't even necessarily feel like underpowered with a TLR1 HL. Like, it's 1,000 lumens, it's only like 10,000 candela, so it's not that punchy. But I don't ever feel like, oh shoot, I just can't, I need to see it 75 yards or 100 yards or whatever I'm doing with the pistol. I'm not a police officer, so maybe police officers feel different, having to defeat barrier lights or go a little bit further or defeat oppositional light, depending on what you're doing. Maybe that candela number is a lot more important to you. Totally fair, right? But yeah, I just TLR1 HL is the GOAT. True. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, shout out to Cole. Shout out to Cole for editing the video. Good job. I really enjoyed it. Very professional presentation. Good numbers. Good graphics. Yeah, I liked it. Good job. And then now they also TLR1 has a new one, right? The HPX or something like that, where it's even more powerful. I haven't picked up one of those. But for rifle lights, 50K is good. Like 75K is fine. Like I have an Ouse, which is like 95K, and there's certain points where I just miss, or like I'm not getting the benefit you think you would. It's like, oh, it has 40% more candela, and then you look at it side by side, and it's pretty similar. It's pretty similar. Now maybe they're all just lying about their number, right? But all right, Cloud Defensive. I wish you were good. I have heard a lot of people complain about their switches, though. The switches on the EPL, not everybody's favorite. In fact, I think, was it Sage Dynamics back in the day? Let me look this up real fast. Was it Sage Dynamics back in the day who did a video on the EPL? Sage Dynamics. Or did he work with them on another light? Let me see. I thought for sure maybe it was the mod light. Because I know Sage worked with some light company. Aaron worked with some light company for pistol lights. And I don't know if it was, I thought it was Cloud Defensive, but I could be wrong. I could be misremembering that. But I remember everybody else was clowning on him for the switches because they hated the switches, but he liked them. Or it was something like where it was constant only, no momentary, and that was pissing people off. Mod line. Okay, it was the mod line. All right. Jameson also says that he is not a fan of the switches. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. So he made a video about constant on only is what you want for pistol lights. Yeah, I don't remember his argument. I mean, as somebody who shot night matches with momentary only switches on pistol lights, I think it's fine. Not a cop, though. All right, well, that concludes our EPL segment. Once again, shout out to Works Holsters for putting together a excellent video. Cole for editing it, of course. And yeah, let's see. Well, actually, let's get to you guys real fast before we get to our evening rage bait. The Lightspore for 2 says wood to the thumbnail. Now, I feel bad for this lady actually. So this actually, sorry, wrong page. This one right here. When you Google, at least for me, when you Google female police officer, this lady pops up. So I think I've used her in like 3 or 4 different thumbnails. So I feel bad. I don't know who this lady is. I'm sure she's a wonderful person, but she's like the default female police officer. Thank you, Lightsport. Subarctic Psycho for 5 says 25 hours late. That's a new record. Yes. Yes. I was supposed to stream yesterday, but things did get in the way. I understand. Thank you, Subarctic. Appreciate that, sir. Lightspore for 5 says 500 worlds mentioned. Captain, my beloved. That's right. We're taking back Ultramar. We're doing it. Gilliman asked for it. Got to do it. Don't know how. Still got to do it. Subarctic Psycho for 2 says, is John wearing lipstick? Wouldn't you like to know? You seem really fixated on my lipstick conundrum. I think my lips are just cherry red naturally. Josh for 5 says, I hate how small it is. Please just grow. I'm begging you, let it grow. All right. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate that. Axegrive for 2 says, looking forward to Mike. Thanks for hosting him. Yeah, so for everybody who wasn't here earlier, we are having Mike Mahowski. I want to say, I'll figure out how to say his name before I actually have him on. But he did reach out to me on Instagram to say that he wants to come on the show. So we will have him on the show for a lovely chat, I am sure. And all of you will be on your best behavior. I'm also very sure of that. You certainly won't mention mothers or trash cans or other silly things. Subarctic Noticer for 5 says, call me Vril Cosby the way I'm deceitfully red-pilling people at Christmas parties. That's good. Vril Cosby. All right. That's good. Thank you, Subarctic Noticer. Well, keep up the good work out there, sir. Vandalay for 2 says, when my arms mount loses 0, my acro will too. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. You know, why lose 0 with 1 optic when you can lose 0 with 2 optics? Remember that these things retail for like $2,700. Lightsport for 2 says Brass is running victory laps right now. Brass is not running victory laps right now. They want to get rid of him. Like, yeah, sure, they bought the Elcans, they bought the Acros. Although I don't think he likes the Acros. I don't know anyone who actually likes the Acros. Well, you know, people. But the Elcan though. Brass, big defender of the Elcan. It does some special things. It's a very special optic, special ed optic, as it were. But yeah, the Bundeswehr figured out that, oh yeah, it don't do the things we want it to do. So we're stuck with 50,000 of them. Tulip, 3-2 for 5 says, I'll always make it rain when Richard is the entertainer. All right, fine. Now, frickin' Logan. He's going to make me look this up, and I don't even know what this is. I do need to apologize to everyone who is here right now. Thank you to the 432 people hanging out on YouTube and to everybody else on Rumble as well. Thank you very much, gents. But, like, I'm going to have to Google this right now for the first time. Logan sucks at shooting for 5 says, what donation goal do we have to reach to get you to play Uma? How do you spell this? Uma Masumi? Did I spell that right? Oh no. What? Official launch trailer. I can watch this. 5 million views, guys? 5 million views? Wait, did they have one of them named Rice Grower? Rice Shower. All right. Okay. This is my face when Logan asked me to play this on stream. This face. Perfect freeze frame. Yeah, you can go get it. Sorry, my son just asked for his link sword that he got for Christmas. This face is what I make when somebody asks me to play this game. Zinvala says, what donation goal to not play the DGen anime horse game? I mean, unless somebody donates the $200, you would have to counter donate the $200 to get me to stop it. It's a real race, horses, just anime girls. Yeah, the anime girls are the horses. I gripping stories. So, okay, can somebody explain to me what a gotcha game is? I've heard this phrase before. I don't know what it is. What is a gotcha game? I mean, I think it is kind of funny. Maybe it's secretly kind of based to force women into foot races purely for male entertainment. Maybe that's kind of in a weird way. It's looped from being cringed like back to based, and we just treat them like racehorses, right? And that's their entire purpose in life is just to run and beat other women, and then if they break their legs, we like shoot them or something. So maybe it's the horseshoe theory, right? Where it's so cringe, it's based, right? Stabby McStabwood says gotcha games are games where you can pump money in for progress, aka pay to win. Oh, that's lame. That's super lame. These BCG says you pay money to level up faster than people who don't pay money. The girls are based upon real horses in Japan. Oh, is that where their names come from? It's based off of real life racehorses. All those names are names of real horses. They tie in the actual stories of the horses into the storylines in the game. Let them wild horses run free. All right. All right. Hey, Bruce, I'm streaming. Go. It's all right. Go.
I love you.
Love you too, bud. Thanks, 5-year-old. Can we get the horse from The Sopranos? That's a reference that I don't get. I apologize, but I don't get that reference. All right. Well, yeah, actually no, this is perfect. This is my face when somebody shows me this. Please make it stop. the child cannot see this. Oh, that's funny. Dad, are you watching the horse game again? No, son, it's not what it looks like. I don't know what it looks like, to be fair. I'm just here. I'm here for you guys. Thank you, Logan. Subartic Psycho for 2 says, taser, taser, taser. Oopsie. Oh. Thank you, Subartic Psycho. Don't clip that. Con Dogs for 2 says, don't tase me, bro. Vibes for women in baby making mode. Well, yeah, it's funny. You gave the best years of your life to write speeding tickets. Okay. Amorite Boy for 2 says, girl dinner. Yeah, girl dinner is where nobody decides what to eat and you starve to death. And then you complain that you have a headache, but you haven't had water in 4 days. Thank you, Amorite Boy. Appreciate that, sir. Lightsport for 2 says, they definitely have worn them before, referring to women in handcuffs. Yeah, but they're not pink and fluffy. Vandalay for 2 says, cardio is underappreciated. Go for a run. True. Very underappreciated. Thank you, Art Vandalay. Appreciate that, sir. Subartic Psycho for 5 says, when they get injured, does the player have to put them down? They should have to. I think legally, to take care of your horses, you should need to put them down. Like, that should be one of the storylines, right? Is this person right here, I don't know who this is. This is probably Rice Shower, but she breaks her leg, right? You got to go out in the field and you have to that's like a mini game within. And then the better execution tools cost more money, so you can use like the air gun that they have for killing horses or livestock, or you can upgrade to a 50 BMG for the most graphic kills. Okay, so but that's like $50 or something, right? I think it would make money. Thank you, Stobartic Psycho. Lightsport for 2 says many Foyd cop that I'd compare to racehorses. I don't know what that means, but I'll take your word for it, sir. Yeah, fortunately, I've only had a couple weird run-ins with police officers. Richard, you doing all right? A ball peen hammer. Yeah. Oh, extra for a bat. Yeah, sorry, can't pause the stream. Can't pause the stream. Oh, are they suing PETA for what? They're not even real horses, all right, guys. They're pixel. Okay. It's totally not weird and degenerate because they're pixels. All right. Totally not strange. Crackalacka, thank you for the raid over on Rumble. Appreciate you, sir. Everybody watching on Rumble, you are incredibly based. Incredibly based, because that might be my future home if I ever get kicked off of YouTube. Let's see. Lightsport over on Ko-Fi says, I can't wait for Mr. Mike to be here so I can spend all stream calling him fat and or threatening to unalive him. Well, thank you, Lightsport. That's mildly threatening. Red Diacon says it's a gacha game because they got you money. I see what you did there. That makes sense. But yeah, I've heard the term gacha game, but I've never I don't actually know what that means until now. So thank you. Thank you, kind viewing army. But you know what's crazier than anime horse girls? All right. Weird detour in the middle of the stream, but we're actually going to talk about Salvation Army, bro. Getting I'll remove him until he comes back. I'm not sure where he's at right now. But Salvation Army bell ringer accused of trying to impale a store manager. So this is going to be funny. It's a little sad, a little funny. Oh, you're there, Richard. You doing all right?
Yeah, I was here.
Okay, I asked you a question a couple minutes ago. And you didn't respond, so I thought you might have just been like taking a break or something. So, reading this article, Martin County, Florida, of course, Florida man has struck again. A Florida man was arrested after investigators said he tried attacking a Publix manager while working as a red kettle bell ringer outside the store. You know, those wonderful people for the Salvation Army taking donations outside of your local Publix or Walmart, and they say, bless you, Merry Christmas, care for a donation, Merry Christmas, you have a great night, so on and so forth, right? Wonderful. You hear the bells ringing as you walk in and out. Well, according to Martin County Sheriff's Office, the suspect, 63-year-old Stephen Pavlik, was hired as a Salvation Army bell ringer this holiday season to collect donations at the Publix grocery store on Canner Highway. This is the face of Florida greeters at Publix, all right? But instead of spreading holiday cheer, Pavlik acted more like Bad Santa, becoming intoxicated on duty, based, and aggressively confronting people walking by. You want to give? You want to give? Oh, you're not going to give? You hate starving children? You hate starving children? Really? You're going to say that to their face? Unbelievable. Creating a major disturbance outside the store, the sheriff's office wrote on Facebook. According to deputies, when confronted by a manager at the store, Pavlik allegedly became violent and attempted to impale the manager with the donation kettle tripod.
Ooh.
Anything is a spear if you try hard enough.
Yeah, I guess.
Investigators said the manager wasn't hurt, but Pavlik ran from the scene. He was later found at his home and arrested by deputies. Pavlik was booked into Martin County Jail. He faces aggravated assault and resisting arrest charges. So it sounds like he was less than compliant at his place of residence as well. Who would have guessed? But I don't know. It's obviously it's kind of sad because it was on Christmas Day and you're harassing, shoppers and whatnot at this store. But it's also in another way equally kind of funny, right? To have your drunk Santa outside your store collecting donations and just yelling explicatives at people doing like last minute shopping or just trying to get home or just trying to get an energy drink or something like that. Whatever it might be. Just this guy sitting outside harassing them. The antithesis of Santa, all right? He's bringing the bah humbug energy, total Grinch core on Christmas. PGD, am I right? Am I right? Yeah, this is actually just a real picture of Richard. He was upset that he had to go back to Florida for the holidays, and he was like, I'll make a couple bucks standing outside this Publix. Drank a 40, of course. Not Hennessy, though. Wrong color for Hennessy. And then, started yelling at people. When you ban all the guns, they'll use bots. Matt Danka says, train the way you fight. True. True. A little bit of Krampus. All right. Well, now can I get that off the screen, please? There we go. How about something even now? This is actually total Grinch core, or what's another word for this? Maybe a different type of core. Okay, but a lot of people stealing a lot of money, millions of dollars. No, sorry, I misspoke. Billions of dollars in Minnesota, which is dwarfed by the California nonsense that's been going on. But at least here, we're getting some, on the ground reporting. Now, for those of you who haven't seen this, this is a kind gentleman, Nick Shirley, just going around and checking in on some of the autism centers, which I'm sure a lot of my audience has been to, checking in on some of the daycares where hundreds of children are allegedly signed up, checking in on some of the learning centers or learning centers, because some of them are misspelled, that are allegedly have a lot of children enrolled, and they're taking a lot of funds from the Minnesota taxpayers. I think, what is the total? Luring funds. My fault. Luring centers. Yeah, I haven't gone to one of these schools, so my education is not quite up to spec yet. But we have what, $9 billion in Minnesota now? Is that the total fraud, or is it going up?
It's went up to, last I seen, as high as 18.
18. What's a few $1 billion between foreigners?
Where the money's going. What do you guys think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
I don't think anybody is enabling fraud to happen.
Hold Governor Walz accountable for this.
What was this money spent on? 1.26.
We don't speak English. I'm sorry. All right. Listen, all right. I don't speak English, but I can sign up for all the government subsidies in the world. All right. I don't speak English. I don't care about your culture. In fact, I despise you and your culture, but I will gladly take your funds. Money, please.
Million. What was that money spent on? Ask about it. There aren't any kids.
Answer the question. Are there children? There's no children inside this building. Potentially the largest fraud scandal in U.S. history is taking place in Minnesota, as literally billions of dollars.
$18 billion. I loved how there was like a 33x in autism fraud, which honestly, autism stolen valor is very serious. We shouldn't joke about it. It's the chat's main claim to fame. And so I feel like you guys honestly have been hit hard enough by this, by all the Somalians faking autism, faking your valor, right? That you guys have worked so hard for, that you guys were born with. And they're taking that from you, right? To the tune of billions of dollars, right? And Somalians aren't autistic, they're retarded. It's different, right? And the fact that they're trying to steal your valor, take you out of the limelight where you guys should really have all that money and have all that, be the center of attention that you deserve to be. But yeah, they're taking it from you. So what does South Park say? They took our jobs, but in this case, they took our autism.
Have been funneled through Somali-ran fraudulent businesses. So much fraud, it could actually almost replace the entire GDP of Somalia. These fraud
$12 billion, the entire GDP of a country. Okay, I do have a question. How many Somalians are in Somalia? How many people in Somalia? I like how the top search result is how many people in Somalia are playing Helldivers 2. There's 20 million people there. So they have a GDP of like $100 a person. No, sorry. Obviously. Yeah. The GDP of like $100 a person. There's 20 million people there. If they have like $1,000 a person. Maybe I'm being retarded. I'm probably being retarded, but it's not much. It's like $600 a person, something like that. It's really bad.
Fraudsters have worked hand in hand with the Minnesota government as they enabled billions of dollars to be given to fraudulent businesses underneath welfare purposes. Some of this money eventually landed in the hands of terrorist groups in Somalia like the Al-Shabaab, and others enriched themselves all at the U.S. taxpayers' expense.
What did we cover last week or like Wednesday? What was it? It was the BLM person who had taken $19 million, something. She had like multiple cars, houses, trips, vacations, all this sort of fun stuff.
And in this video, we will break down all of the fraud from start to finish, from going to the fraudulent businesses and confronting the people who are making millions of dollars from the government. And we will also be confronting the incompetent government leaders who let this fraud happen. And to make this happen, I met up with a man who's been doing his own investigation for years now, as he has seen the fraud firsthand. His name is David. Let's get into this and be prepared to be shocked. How deep is this fraud here inside of Minnesota?
It is far worse than anybody can imagine. You heard it's 7 to 10 billion and maybe more, and now the numbers have been revised and put out there publicly that they think it's more like 8 billion. How I got involved is that where my office is here in Minneapolis, I'm sort of in the heart of all of this fraud, and I would see these childcare centers. I said, well, there aren't any kids there. It's the middle of the day, and all I see are
Look, as an interesting take here. So I've heard this before from people, more nominally on the right. Says, be an end to the system. Don't need welfare. Apply for it anyways. It's your money. This is how they're using what they steal from you. There is some truth there from like a zero-sum game. And I know that people are very proud of their work. They don't want government handouts. They just want to be left alone. Totally get it. 100% understand. But tactically speaking, if the money that they're stealing from you is being given to people who hate you and they want to replace you, tactically speaking, why not just commit the fraud right back, or not even fraud in a lot of cases, right? Because there's lots of benefits that one can get for healthcare, housing, food, whatever it might be that is available. But a lot of you guys are hardworking guys and you don't want to go out there and take something you feel you don't deserve, right? Because you are good, moral people. These people, not so much. Not so much. They don't care about you in the same way, right? So I get it. I get it. But yeah, tactically speaking, if you're looking at a zero-sum game, if you want to do the same thing right back, you totally could. Like, listen, a lot of you guys should have been taking that autism money. Should have been your money. All right. But instead, you're funding broods of Somalis, making little Mogadishu in Minnesota, right? Great, fantastic, wonderful. So happy that that's happening. Now, the funny thing about that is, though, if you committed fraud on the same level that they did, it would be stopped instantaneously because it's not beneficial for them to subsidize you, your people, your way of life. It is beneficial for them to destabilize the country, the population with these people, right? Because they need these people to thrive and improve and to better themselves, or at least increase in numbers, right? Because 68 IQ is not easy to fix, if it's even possible in the first place. You, however, you are a threat to them and their system. So if you were pulling off the same thing, you would all be in jail instantly. Instantly.
a couple of guys standing out front smoking, and then I'd go by another daycare and I'd see the same thing. I said, well, where do these kids play? And so I started to go online and look, and I said, this place is licensed for 80 children. They had 0 children. Every time I went by there, they never had a single child there. Then I started to see all these transportation companies going around, and it was always a Somali driver. And I said, well, that's great. They're out there transportation, contributing, but they never had a passenger, never, ever once. And I said, well, what is all this transportation? What are they doing? So then I found out that in Minnesota, they have something called non-emergency medical transportation. So this is going to the dentist's office, therapy, whatever it might be. And I said, well, how many of these companies are there? And the research came back that there are 1,020 of them, and more than 800 of them are Somali owned. Nobody from the state of Minnesota ever cross-checks to see if any rides were ever actually provided. All they did was write the check.
So right here.
Which, I mean, that seems like something super easy to do, even if you wanted to do it quote unquote legit. Like if you could just record yourself doing a couple rides for medical reasons for family members or for whatever it is to getting them to or from healthcare. Like I feel like you could get that subsidy without even committing fraud really easily. Really, really easily. Right? It takes $200 to form an LLC. It's not difficult to do. Yeah. So yeah, and you don't need any credentials, any anything. There's again, it's not like they're checking up on you. You can create a company for $200, provide some real rides, and not even commit fraud. Get some extra money. I mean, but listen, Hook says medical reason shopping. It could be. What if you took them to the store to get Tylenol? Okay, so that they could have autistic babies as well. All right, but yeah, it's like anything. Anytime that you see a industry dominated by people who commit fraud, and in this case just happens to be Somalians, you know that it's like literally just track where they work and what companies they own, and you're like, oh, here's the fraud. Like, what government program are they ripping off here? Is it healthcare? Okay, they're ripping that off. Is it housing? They're ripping that off. Is it schools and learning centers and daycares? Okay, they're ripping that off. Is it medical transportation business? Oh, there's a subsidy for that. They're ripping it off. These people are insanely good, and they're directed to be very good at finding what resources are available and then just taking them. Gives me dat. Gives me dat is the entire mentality here. Oh, I can have that? Gives me dat. Gives me that. I do the thing. Because again, they don't share your morals. They don't care about America, right? They care about like the here and now, high time preference, right? So they care about their families getting fed today. They care about money today. They care about buying a car today, right? They don't like what is America to them, right? They don't want your country. They don't like your country. They vacation in their home country, right?
Here we have all this paperwork. And how are you getting all this information about the fraud?
A lot of it is through my own research. And then I have some contacts at the Capitol going back many, many years. And so the data that I'm getting is 100% accurate, coming directly from research done by people at the state Capitol.
All this paperwork right here, what are we looking at?
The areas of fraud that I have numbers for are mostly related to childcare. This is massive fraud that is beyond anyone's imagination, the scope. And so, for example, there's a childcare not far from here in Minneapolis that has two childcares listed at the same address. And together, they're licensed supposedly for 120 children. I have never seen a single child there ever. And I've been by that place at least 100 times.
You know what's funny is it's really easy to fraud all this stuff. Like even if you could, in theory, have 120 kids, like if you knew 120 children in your Somalian community. Hello, hello. Hey, there we go. We're back. We're back. I'm not muted. I'm not muted. I fixed it. Hey, thanks for covering, Richard. Appreciate you. You got my back. I got it. I got it. Sorry about that. Damn it. No, but what I was saying was, so imagine this, right? So you do have 120 kids signed up for this daycare. Let's say those names are real, but they're also signed up at like 9 other daycares. So they're getting the subsidy money for like 1,200 kids throughout like 10 different daycares, but there's only 120 real kids, and they're never at any one daycare at any one point in time, or if they even go to daycare at all, right? Because it's a fake business. Because like, listen, the Somalians, like, because we have some Somalis here in Sioux Falls as well. You could have like 20 kids in a house, and I've seen it before. None of them go to daycare, right? But you could sign them up as if they were going to daycare and still get the, whatever, however many thousands of dollars that is for those 20 kids, even if they're never actually there, even if they just stay at home. It was not Boomer John. It was not my fault. Okay. Apologize.
These Somalians, these groups are setting up these daycares, these childcare centers, getting money from the government, but there's no kids.
No kids. Never had any of them. They're all fraught with violations. And even though they have these violations, they're still in operation and they're still getting money. And it's millions.
Well, so think about that. If they have like 1,000 of these businesses, think about how annoying that is to audit. So you have to send somebody to each daycare, talk to somebody who's in charge, get all of their roll calls or whatever it is, and then manually verify that the children are actually there for the number of hours per week. And then you have to do that for each one. Now, of course, in a just society, you wouldn't even be given the subsidy until you can prove all these other factors, right? But we don't live in that. So what they handed out all of the money to thousands and thousands and thousands of different people, and then they're like, oh, now it's really hard to audit because we don't know where the money went because it went to so many different places. And shucks, would you look at that? We're just sad. We're just just misplaced some money, a little oopsie.
Millions of dollars for every one of them every year.
And who's getting the money, and where are they getting the money from?
So we have a thing called CCAP. It's a blend of federal and state money. The bottom line is it's taxpayer money, so it's state money and it's federal money. And the problem is the people at the state of Minnesota are the ones writing the checks. This is kind of the maddening thing is you have daycare, so you have adult daycare, and then you have child care, and then you have health care. And a lot of these same names keep coming up on all of these different types of businesses. And then, of course, we have the transportation, and a lot of those same names appear.
So KDLB9BG says, will the money actually be cut off? This is a really interesting question that I have, like in my little war games mind sometimes, is that what if they did just shut off all the money to these people? Because it's something like 90% of them only exist on government subsidies. It's some insane number of them do not pay into the tax system at all. So what happens if these people, like, they would just, like, you're essentially paying them so they don't turn into thieves and murderers. That's it. That's what it is. Because it's not like these people wouldn't be hired in normal jobs. They don't have any skill. These people don't speak your language. These people don't care about you. They don't have your values. Spoiler alert, the country that they came from is horrifying. They couldn't improve their own country. They're not going to improve yours. They're not going to be your local mechanics, your doctors, your astronauts. This is not, it's not the case. All right. All right. No matter how low we lower the standards, like still like 68 IQ averages, it's rough. Okay. So without government subsidies, without billions of dollars flowing into these communities, like, would they just starve or turn into violent criminals? Worst of all, they're ugly. They're not sending, well, maybe they are sending their best, actually. I was going to say they're not sending their best, but maybe they are.
The same addresses. There's one building that has 14 Somali healthcare companies at the same address. There's another building in St. Paul that has 22 Somali healthcare businesses at the same address.
And the government knows about it.
Well, and this is the point, right? So you pay for them to have 8 kids. You subsidize their families, their way of life, their culture, their invasion, while you are struggling to pay rent, while you're, you have no savings, while you're living week to week, month to month, whatever it might be. while you're renting, while you can't afford a car. They're buying a new car, right? You're trying to think how long I can make my car last. They're buying a new car. You're renting, they're buying a house on your dime, right? That's what it is. You're trying to make ends meet for groceries. You're paying for their groceries. This is the way the system is designed to work.
The government knows they're writing the checks. Yeah, the Democrats over there just writing the checks. What has happened is that the Somali community is a very closed community. They will not speak to anyone outside the community and talk about what's going on within the community. They vote as a block. And so when you're a politician, you're saying, look, I've got 100,000 people in Minnesota that if I...
So this is something that I didn't realize. Axe Grind for Two says, look at the FGM rates in Somalia, which is the female genital mutilation. According to women aged 15 to 49, the rate is 99%. Highest estimate, 99.2, according to the United Nations in 2020. 99%. 99% FGM rate. Yeah. Well, so that's the thing, right? It's because these people they're dumb. Right. That's the thing. They work as a community. They have an insane in-group preference. They don't care. They care about them. They care about their family. They care about their tribe, right? They don't care about you at all. They don't care about your neighborhood. They don't care about your schools. They don't care about anything. They don't care about right, wrong, morals, nothing. Okay? They care about eating today and tomorrow. That's about as far as it goes.
do something for the community, they're going to vote for me. And that's what it's all about, is getting the votes. And then the people here in Minnesota, you hear this term, Minnesota nice. I'm so sick of that term. The people here are so afraid of being called a racist or an Islamophobe. And they're afraid of their own shadow. And I don't understand. This is our future generations are going to have to pay for all this fraud. And they just want to bury their heads in the sand and go.
So this is still kind of the boomer mindset a little bit, which is like, it's 2025. Wish we were past this a little bit. That's all right. But it's like, what is the money? It's the money. It's the money. We care about the money, the fraud. I actually really don't care about the money. I think there's way, way bigger problems than the money, right? Even if Somalians committed zero fraud, the fact that they're going to be a majority voter bloc in Minnesota and in other places and effectively replacing other people's is very problematic, whether they committed fraud or not. Money's not a big problem. And yeah, you shouldn't be worried about being called racist or Islamophobic. You should just be those things, right?
Go on and just not worry about it. Tim Walz saying there's organized crime in Minnesota. What did he do about it? Nothing. You got organized crime? What are you doing? This is the Minnesota law, which mandates that anyone who knows of fraud and is a state employee must report that fraud. It's Minnesota Statute 3.971, Subdivision 9. Not only that, but Walz is also guilty of misconduct of a public employee. When I look at the world as a whole and I look at fraud, the Twin Cities is ground zero. The fraud is worse here than anywhere else ever in history, anywhere.
We're going to go confront these people. We're going to go to these daycare centers. We're going to see what's actually happening.
Okay, so we have to be careful because these people are very violent. They're exceptionally violent.
Now, with all of David's evidence, we headed out to the streets of Minneapolis to see how much.
Yeah, well, what's the term? Racism is just, it's diversity. Diversity plus proximity equals racism. That's the thing.
Fraud we could uncover in one afternoon. Where are we going now?
We're going to a place called Mako Childcare, which actually has another childcare registered at the same address called Mini Child Care Center.
So we should see lots of children if there's this child care center, especially if there's two.
The two of them combined are licensed for 120.
And how much money have these child care centers received?
None of those vans have moved in 6 months. None of them. In 2020, one of them received 1.3 million. In 2021, they got 987,000. In 2022, they got 714,000. That's the last I have for that one. And then the other one, 1.604 million in fiscal.
Are you guys losing? Am I muted? What? No. Sorry, that's from earlier. I saw the chat from earlier.
Fiscal
My
year
bad.
2025, fiscal year 2024, they got about 800,000, and in fiscal year 2023, they got $904,059. This place right here. Yes.
We're outside of it.
Well, this is actually 2 daycares are registered here. One of them is Mako, which you see on this sign. The other one is Mini Child Care Center. And between the two of these child care centers, they're pulling in about $3 million a year. And there are no children. Every facility that you go to, the windows will be blocked out so you can't see in. There's nobody here. You won't see a single child at any of these facilities.
There are indeed no windows. All the windows are blacked out right here. All right, let's go in.
No.
And the child care center is locked. Should we ring the doorbell? Try to get in, rang the doorbell. Nobody showed up. They're open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. It says here on their sign, yet there's absolutely nobody here. And this building here, right here, has generated millions of dollars, and it seems like business isn't even open right now, and it's a weekday. And if this was a daycare center, it wouldn't just be in some industrialized building. There would be maybe like a playground or something outside, or...
There's no play area for the kids. So where are the kids?
Well, yeah, I mean, think about the scam, right? So you need to be able to figure out how to rent a warehouse and to set up an LLC, and you have people, NGOs, helping you do this, right? Every step of the way. And then you're like, all right, how many kids do you have? Blah, blah, blah. You know, whatever people you know, whatever it might be. You get funding for vehicles, you get funding for transportation, you get funding for obviously for the building and for everything else. And that's where you get this, you know, millions of dollars per year. And of course, multiple daycares in the same building. I don't know how that isn't just a automatic disqualification if you have multiple daycares in the same building, right? Because you would hope daycares aren't like part of a larger building block. They're kind of like their own separate unit. But yeah, yeah, and again, it's important to note that Somalis didn't just like come up with this grand plan all on their own. They were helped every step of the way by NGOs, or in some cases, maybe even governmental organizations, just not ours, right? And just and whatever they're living in, paying in, buying their houses, buying their cars, buying whatever it is for their family as you're having a hard time. But you guys get the gist of it. You guys should go check it out. It's a 46-minute long video from Nick Shirley exposing a lot of the fraud going on. We know it's bad. You just don't know how bad it is yet. Sabardic Psycho over on Ko-Fi says Somalis have some interesting physiognomy. How much sister loving and cousin fricking had to occur in order for that distinctive head shape to develop across a whole population? Well, it's important to note that Muslims in general have about a 30% rate of inbreeding, like first cousin, right? First cousin or closer, 30%. Somalia has about 50%. 50% inbreeding rate. So you're going to get some interesting looking individuals. You're going to get a reduced IQ en masse of, again, 68. Which is 4 points lower than a bonobo ape. Little oopsie. Sanathal Rifleman for 2 says, bearing witness in the form of Vlad Dracula. Oh, what was that about? That was about something earlier, wasn't it, Richard? Thanks, Russell. Appreciate it. Richard, you here? Am I here?
Yes, sir.
Is anyone here? Okay. Do you remember what that was in reference to? What we were talking about?
No,
Oh no, that was that was the Christmas impaling at the Publix. Duh. With he was trying to impale the store manager with the donation trident. Yep. Bearing witness in the form of Vlad Dracula. Yeah, he missed the Halloween window, but Christmas. Oh, I mean, Vlad could be all year round. Todd Dogs for 2 says bulbous head, black Roma Jewing better than juice. Roma, what is Roma Jewing? Do they mean rummaging? Roma Jewing? Roma Jewing? Bulbous head, black Roma Jew. Roma Jewing better than juice. Well, but I mean, one's a bioweapon from the other. I mean, let's be real, okay? Axe Grind for 2 says look at
the creator.
Roma June. Yakub? And Axe Grind for 2 says look at the FGM rates in Somalia. Again, 99%. Cutting up babies' genitals. Very nice. Very nice. Wonderful culture. We need more of that. Axe Grind for 2 says imagine a Somalian OB and you just had a daughter. I imagine none of them ever coming near one of my children. How about that? That's what I imagine. But I'm an optimist. Lightspore for 2 says, terribly nice day. Thank you. I hope you have a terribly nice day as well. Terribly nice day to you too, Lightspore. All right. Watch it, bro. With that type of attitude, like, you're going to get it. You're going to get... Oh, wrong one. This one. You're going to get it. Fractalactus says Roma gypsies. So gypsy Jewing? I mean, listen, all right. Europeans like to pretend that they're not racist until somebody mentions a gypsy, okay? And then they're like, well, I mean, you know, it's like you can't judge a group of people based upon how they all act. I mean, that's a little rude. That's just uncalled for. But all right, guys, I think that's what we got for tonight. Richard, anything else you gotta get us on or talk to us about right before we go, or what's up?
No, that's it. Let's see. Tomorrow I've got the Rare Breed Hoffman Tactical Fiasco coming out tomorrow. So if you guys would go watch that, give it a thumbs up, like, a comment, let me know whose side you're on. I'm curious to see. Yeah, Roma equals gypsies. I see. Got distracted.
You're good, guys. All right, gents. Well, I really appreciate you guys hanging out. I hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas. Again, on Monday, we have a big panel stream, best and worst of 2025. Should be a really fun time. And then we are going to get Mike from Sons of Liberty Gunworks on sometime as well. And yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the Trigicon video I put out. That was fun. Right? You guys totally did not get upset at that video. There were not a lot of should I call you Trigicopers? Trigiconers in the chat that were very upset. But Jameson, hope you had a good night, good sir. Appreciate the work, appreciate the videos out there, and yeah, keep making good holsters. Appreciate having you on. Yeah, it'll be a fun time. We're gonna have Mike, gonna have a big panel stream. Next week should be fun. And then fortunately, end of next week, I'll be back in South Dakota, where I should be, where I belong. But yeah, with all that out of the way, gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. God bless.